Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Foggy and Chaemiko. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters. Foggy has spawned as the red night elf over here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Chaemiko has spawned as the blue human. You want a hash brown? Alright, be right back. Apparently I do need to make a hash brown. Alright, coming back into the game, Chaemiko opening up with an Archmage, opening up with an Archmage. Meanwhile, back over here on the other side, we are going to see a Keeper of the Grove. You have multiple kids now? I was here when your girl was a baby. Time flies. Yes, I do have 3 children. Oldest one is 11, who was born before my casting, before my, or be, before born after I started casting, and my youngest one, well, is under 2 years old. Foggy opening things up here. I'm gonna. You okay, Evelyn? Okay. Okay. Can you cook what dishes? Um, Alt Crota so that he can micro the pan with hash browns while keeping the observer up. No, I did the auto camera movement. I don't. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a quick second, so I went ahead and just tried to set that up real quick for you guys. Coming back around. Yeah, let me know how that looks. You two, let me know what you guys thought. Like normally I try to pause the video for you guys, but at that point I thought it was okay to let the camera just and the recording just keep on going, since there wasn't much going on right then and there. Keeper of the Grove now making its way off to the north here, going to try and clear up this expansion creep camp. All of these Murgle and Murlocs should get finished off pretty quick. Did you cook hash brown in 45 seconds? No, I just popped them into, I popped frozen hash browns into the air fryer. So that's all I really did. Keep Archmage now coming back around here. Entangle onto the Footman. Footman could easily get taken down. Archmage now going straight after those other units. No deny on that Footman though, as the Keeper of the Grove is sitting now at level 2. Entangle Treants are now summoned pretty much all over the place, as the Murlocs are now making their way over. Alright, apparently my middle child wants to watch the game. Alright. Expansion now coming into play by Chaemiko. Well, expansion's getting underway here. Foggy gonna try and put some pressure on this expansion here. Foggy does have double rings of protection, so already up to 9 armor at this point. Hence the reason why this Keeper of the Grove seems much more beefy and much more difficult to take down, as the Keeper of the Grove is now going to be benefiting from the additional Nightfall regeneration for the Night Elf. Should be regenerating rather fast, as the treants are still putting pressure all over the place. Alright, both of my children, or 2 of my older children, opting to watch me cast for some reason. Yeah. The Archmage? What do you mean the Archmage changed? No, the Archmage was never a king. Archmages are generally advisors to the king. But yeah. Anyways, coming back on through, Keeper of the Grove, Staff of Teleportation, back off to the north, trying to put in pressure once again, and we could see some scout tower damage coming on through. There goes one peasant again. Another peasant could get taken down, and Chaemiko is just trying to hold on to this expansion for as long as he can, as the scout tower is going to be coming online with an arcane tower here. Keeper of the Grove, he's going to try to get off the last couple of entangles. That is the next question here, as there are 2 peasants still trying to wander around. Keeper of the Grove perhaps going to try to dive on in, go after that one peasant there. Peasant could end up getting taken down. Yes, it does, as the Keeper of the Grove now once more backs away. Boots of Speed, Staff of Teleportation now running back all the way. Your daughter has a pleasing voice. How old is my oldest daughter? My oldest daughter is 11. coming back down to the south here. Keeper of the Grove with Rings of Protection, and now ready to come back in. You can take a look here, taking a lot of aggression here. I believe Chaemiko could be trying to take down this Ogre Magi creep camp, but it's really much more of a reef or an elemental creep camp here that has a lot of piercing damage. Hence, if footmen do have defend, can clear that creep camp out rather fast. Back down to the south here, archers could have cleared out some easy creep camps here as the Keeper of the Grove does get to level 3. Level 2 Entangle could spell certain death for this footman. He's taking 30 damage every tick here and could end up getting taken down. Keeper of the Grove is going to get one more final shot off. There goes another Entangle. Turn around, going to finish off. Oh no, that footman down to 10 hit points and ends up surviving. Keeper of the Grove didn't get the final shot off there. Staff of Teleportation. Keeper of the Grove wants to try and reset. Lands amongst a sea of Moonwells. Gonna heal back up. One very low hit point footman wanders with his life before his eyes and almost aggroes a mud golem in order, and well, pretty much assisted suicide by all of these granite golems here. Archmage sitting at level 2. Goblin Tinker now following up the Keeper of the Grove from Foggy. So Goblin Tinker gonna try and place down Clockwork, the Pocket Factory right here, and by placing down the Pocket Factory right there, open things up now. All right, we're looking at quite a bit of damage. Arcane Tower, however, within range there, you can see only dealing 10 damage per second. Even though it is technically a summoned unit, the Pocket Factory is still somehow not taking that feedback damage from that pocket, from this one Arcane Tower. All right, more damage coming back on through here. Entangle onto another footman. Footman taking quite a bit of damage. Keeper of the Grove still putting in pressure, and this is what Foggy is doing, just constantly trying to put more and more pressure onto the space as a second Pocket Factory may be placed down here in just a moment. Archer's trying to retreat back here as the Pocket Factory does get summoned in once more. Archmage needs to go after the Pocket Factory. The Pocket Factory does have a decent amount of hit points at 300 as those Clockwork Goblins are just going to try and dive on in here, and even if you kill them off, they do have exploding death, and which, well, continues to add up more and more denial by Chaemiko once again. But this is really causing Chaemiko to really try and play at a much higher level than Foggy needs to, as Foggy is just constantly putting pressure to keep everything alive. Back around though, Goblin Tinker does pick up a scroll of healing. Tech to tier 2 is now already done with a Mountain King for Chaemiko. Things are not looking that great for Foggy. Foggy does have his expansion up and running, but you better believe Chaemiko is ready to try and launch a counterattack on that expansion when the Mountain King is out in play. No Arcane Sanctums, no, take it back, dual Arcane Sanctums now being doubly trained by those 4 peasants working together to try and get those priests out. I think it's going to be about a timing attack in about 60 to 90 seconds. Well, when 2 priests are ready out here on the battlefield to try and push on through. Blacksmith also getting added in, so we could be getting in some riflemen as well. However, we are also supply blocked. Chaemiko sitting at 40 over 42 supply. Currently supply blocked, only able to train up 1 priest right now, and Chaemiko actually missing a bit of his macro play and could be having a little bit of problems. Archmage down to 37 hit points, down to 20 hit points, but Mountain King is right there. Stormbolt, and Foggy with a major misstep there, going after the Archmage. Archmage does end up using that potion of healing, but a great trade once more. Yeah, great trade once more. Level 3 Keeper of the Grove has fallen. Archmage nearly now at level 3. Keeper of the Grove now resurrected as the Archmage comes back around and now going to perhaps get to level 3 here in just a second. All right, Keeper of the Grove is at level 3. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 2. Stormbolt onto an Archer. Archmage now at level 3, continuing this pressure and going down. Mountain King may try and go for another Stormbolt here in just a second. Does Stormbolt down another Archer again to try and finish off these units as the Mountain King still inching its way closer to level 2 again. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove picking up a potion of greater, or a scroll of healing, now going after the first priest that gets trained out, and it gets taken down as well. Mountain King Stormbolt finishes off an Archer as the units are still going back and forth. Archmage could be in a lot of trouble here, but the Keeper of the Grove does not have enough mana, and instead it is the Dryad's slow poison that is doing work, finishing off these last two trailing footmen. One more shot, there goes one footman, another footman gonna get taken down, but by the hands of the creeps. Level 3, level 2, nearly level 3. Keeper or Goblin Tinker really wanted to get to level 3, unable to get there. Meanwhile, we are looking at the Archmage sitting at level 3. Mountain King still sitting at level 1. Foggy has a bit of an experience advantage, but that can be made up in short work as we're looking at well, Foggy trying to go after a relatively difficult creep camp still. All right, there's Lightning Shield. Archer standing amongst all of those units, dealing massive damage. Lightning Shield, well, and it looked like it was complete sacrifice right there to quickly clear out this creep camp. Keeper of the Grove does have an orb of venom, so that damage over time will start to tick rather fast as Chaemiko, well, playing a little bit of a dangerous game, trying to stay in no upkeep, but end up staying at 51 over 72 as in comes the aggression once more. Keeper of the Grove, treants are now making their way back over. And we're looking at the trees getting cleared up here. Water Elementals trying to be pushed and dropped in. Mountain King does have access to Stormbolt, but only the Dryads are in that front line spot. Foggy has a good amount of gold, hasn't transitioned it into his army as of yet, sitting at only 40 or 31 supply army. Where are all of these units that Foggy should have out onto the battlefield? Ring of Protection +3 given to the Goblin Tinker, who now has 10 armor. And well, what is the Keeper of the Grove going to do here? Pick up a Scroll of Town Portal. Bears are joining in on the battle here in just a second. Dryads, Druids of the Claw already once more. Moonwells are here again. Coming back around, Druid of the Claw, Keeper of the Grove, Goblin Tinker, well, trying to put pressure back off to the north once again. Do you play with reforged graphics? There is a correct answer to that question. It's kind of like asking Legend of Korra or the Last Airbender. Which avatar do you watch? There is a correct answer to that question. Coming back through, Goblin Tinker, it's not even a question. Keeper of the Grove now going to make its way back down to the south. Meanwhile, Archmage is clearing out a relatively difficult creep camp. It is red, but only has a level 6 here, as that is going to get taken down. Archmage is now sitting at level 3, does have dual claws of attack +5, and now teleporting back as well to try and save the expansion again. Druids of the Claw, Goblin Tinker, Dryads, all of that coming back through. Coming back through as the Goblin Tinker now leading the charge once again. Chaemiko unsure of exactly where Foggy is, and now Foggy walking into this base here and sees a whole bunch of buildings under construction. Those are all quickly canceled. Are we going to see perhaps a pocket factory now thrown down? Yes, we are, and the Clockwork Goblins could make a quick bit of work onto a lot of those peasants as well. 70 supply compared to 69. Foggy, well, continuing this two-prong attack, and the Keeper of the Grove has made its way across to the other side and still taking down more and more of these peasants as well. Even though the Night Elf Foggy does not have a warden, it seems as though, well, peasant harassment is on the table as level 4 is reached on that Keeper of the Grove.
A player's forces are under attack.
Coming back across on the other side, the Clockwork Goblin still doing quite a bit of damage and finishing off another peasant right there, as the Goblin Tinker now going to be perhaps trying to race forward once again, waiting for that necessary mana, and then just trying to stop all of the mining. Goblin Tinker is right there. Are we going to see a pocket factory? No pocket factory now placed back across onto the other side. Mortar team trying to take down some of the buildings as the mortar teams are taken down, and Foggy not caring that this is the base of Chaemiko, saying, you know what, I'm going to just dive on into this position and try and, well, take home field advantage away from you. Goblin Tinker quickly using a Scroll of Town Portal to get out of a precarious situation, able to teleport back as the Pocket Factory here will get taken down. Coming back across the other side, well, a little bit more mining, 78 supply compared to 68. Chaemiko, and a little bit more pain. Should be able to train back up more units here, but he needs to figure out what his long-term strategy and game plan actually is. Mountain King still sitting at level 3. Archmage, well, mortar teams from very far back able to lob attacks here. Cloak of Shadows going to be dropped, but the Rock Golem going to drop a Belt of Giant Strength. an additional 150 hit points and 6 damage, plus some, passive hit point regeneration as well. All right, in comes a Roar. Bears now ready to lead the charge. Mortar teams, however, going to be able to start walloping onto those Dryads as that fragmentation starts. Oh, cluster rockets coming across to try and stun things around. And that was a quick change. That was a Tome of Retraining into cluster rockets. So the cluster rockets is stunning down the mortar teams and could actually stun the back line. That is an ability that I don't see very often, but is extremely powerful in theory against a human army. If you can stun the back units, even though if it is just a short duration stun onto the mortar teams, onto all of those casters, you give and open up time for your Dryads to deal more damage to that front line position. Also, once you stun that backline, it instinctively causes a human player to try and retreat with his frontline units, forcing your opponent or allowing your opponent to do another quick chase once more. All right, Roar all being stolen from the Bears. Now backline stun once again, stunning up many of those units. Mana Flare onto the high ground here from the Fairy Dragons, and much of those heals and slows are going to cause problems again. Mountain King now, Potion of Invulnerability coming in with a big Thunderclap amongst all of those units. Level 2 Thunderclap coming online. More Mana Flares coming online here as you see the Mountain King now get up to level 4. More stun. Mountain King of Chaemiko could be in trouble. Now trying to retreat back down to 47 hit points, down to 39. He has a lot of mana. If he accidentally throws a Stormbolt, he could actually get taken down right there as the Dryads are still chasing down those units. All right, Dryads trying to finish off the Mountain King. Mountain King buys a Potion of Healing just in time and is now going back the other way. Gives a love tap to a Dryad who was trying to chase him. All right. Wow, what a way to say no. A girl chasing the Mountain King, and the Mountain King says, stop it. And, well, no means no. Even the other way. Tinker, Goblin Shredder now looking to retreat back. Keeper of the Grove, Bears coming back across the other side. Yep, no means no. Keeper of the Grove, Goblin Tinker, spicy. Drew to the Claw does need a bit of rejuvenation. Mana Flare opening up the positions here once more. The expansion, well, 4,800 gold compared to 55. That number has been getting closer and closer together as Foggy has been able to mine uninterrupted off of his expansion. Meanwhile, main base 3,900 compared to 3,000. Well, a 90-second gold difference right there. All right, Workshops continuing to train up those mortar teams. Meanwhile, Bears actually, or Druids of the Claw in their Druid form to try and get a little bit more mana, perhaps try to get some more rejuvenations before that next upcoming fight. Keeper of the Grove nearly at level 5. Goblin Tinker also nearly at level 5. Claws of Attack +9. That may be given to the Keeper of the Grove a little bit later, as once more, all of the mining is just constantly being disrupted. Mountain King sitting at level 4 here. Archmage is nowhere nearby. Mountain King wants to get to level 5 and will not get there. Awfully close, only needing 32 experience more. Archmage, Staff of Teleportation, going to go ahead and rejoin it up with the rest of that army. Meanwhile, Foggy's army doesn't look all that large. We see a Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 just being left behind there. Not quite sure what's going on. If the Keeper of the Grove does end up falling, the additional 75 hit points could potentially be useful as we're getting ready into this engagement here. Mountain King in that frontline spot could have a lot of trouble already. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? Or yes, we are, as the Mountain King slows down that entire frontline position. All right, Hippogriffs are nearby just in case we do see any flying machines to try and take down these Fairy Dragons. The Fairy Dragons pretty much going uncountered here as Mana Flares and Mortar Teams now raining down as well. Mountain King comes in with another Thunderclap. Meanwhile, Cluster Rock is trying to stun units down once more. Dryads may end up getting taken down. One more volley. No, volley not in time as the Scroll of Town Portal takes them all back home. Hippogriffs are all here. Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove and the Goblin Tinker could both get to level 5 if they played it right. Going after this Gargantuan Sea Turtle, and this would potentially be a game changer here. Bears in that frontline spot absorbing a little bit of damage, rejuvenation offsetting much of the damage from that Gargantuan Sea Turtle as well. as we're seeing the Gargantuan Sea Turtle fall. And, well, Goblin Tinker does get to level 5. Keeper of the Grove should be nearby. Well, is it going to be nearby? No, it is not. And the Keeper of the Grove now 47 experience away, and, well, leaving behind a Ring of Protection. Archmage is at level 5 with multiple claws of attack, now with plus 19 damage on that hero. The hero's auto attack now becoming quite the powerful ability. Keeper of the Grove now looking to retreat back here as well. Orb of Venom auto attacks here. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3 still being left behind. Keeper of the Grove does not have an item spot available for that item. As we're looking at the Mountain King, who is currently invisible, it could try and, well, snipe things down. Mountain King picks up the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3, but pretty much tips off to Foggy that there is an invisible Mountain King right here. All right, Mountain King trying to lead the charge up, trying to get in a big Thunderclap. There's a Thunderclap there, and now slowing down multiple units. Quick Scroll of Town Portal to try and, well, stop that fight already. The Mountain King engaging with an effective Thunderclap straight out of the gate is a fight that Foggy does not want to fight, as his units would be out of position, his bears taking significant amount of damage while not being able to deal that much damage back. Is this a trend I have seen many player leave items? Not the greatest item. Yeah, needed item space. There was no item space available. Keeper of the Grove had a Scroll of Town Portal, and that was used up there. Now, 6 items versus 6 items. Mountain King had a little bit of additional inventory available to him. Potion of Invulnerability as we're getting into an engagement here. All right, Fairy Dragons could try and Mana Flare here. There goes the Mana Flare, trying to slow down some of the slow. Mountain King going to come across. There's that big Thunderclap as well as Cluster Rockets. Not really heading anything there, as the Bears are now trying to focus down all of those Spellbreakers. Another massive Thunderclap, and Chaemiko with so much damage here. Not quite sure Archmage actually needed to force a Scroll of Town Portal. Look at all of the damage on the Bears, and, well, Foggy knows what. Retreat back with these Bears, get them back home, rejuvenate them, and then push back in. And Chaemiko should know that the timing is key here. He's still at full health. All of the Bears are in the orange zone. They need to be healed back up, and Chaemiko needs to strike while the iron is hot as he takes control of these forces of nature. All right, Treants switching allegiances due to the Spellbreakers. Meanwhile, a bunch of low hit point bears already getting rejuvenated as well. It looks as though there were a handful of Druids of the Claw back at home who were already in a Druid form, ready to get down and throw in a couple of proper heals. In comes the army, Spellbreaker of Chaemiko. Where is Foggy's army going? It is actually rotating. Foggy's army sitting at 100 supply, and, well, not quite sure what to make of this. An 85 supply army going up against 69 as the Mountain King continuing to pick off more and more peasants. Yes, Evelyn? Okay, can you ask your sister or come home? All right, I will be done in a little bit. Archmage coming back around. Bear's going to look to try and engage. Off to the north here. Hippogriffs trying to focus down on those flying machines. Able to do exactly that. Fairy Dragons in a beautiful position to stop much of the healing. As you can see, the priests are trying to retreat back. Mountain King gets a Thunderclap off, but that is a not good Thunderclap. The worst one we've seen so far from Chaemiko, as it tried to land on the Magic Immune Dryads. More Cluster Rockets. A beautiful Cluster Rocket onto a group of all of those casters there, as the Scroll of Town Portal now trying to retreat back away. Dryads do launch a couple of attacks, but Foggy's larger 91 supply army does hold strong. However, Chaemiko is going to be able to rebuild his army better, and he is not in high upkeep right now as Foggy is. Foggy only getting, 4 gold a second compared to Chaemiko's 14, as the gold mine is about to get finished up here. Foggy already has a follow-up expansion underway, and it will be able to get fully saturated here in just a moment. I believe Foggy, if he can deal enough damage, he will be able to win the game in the subsequent battles, as he is further along in his expansion already. Mountain King, however, has something to say about that. Quick invisibility on the Mountain King. Will it land against all of these bears? That is the question. Once again, Mountain King trying to come in from behind, and it does have a potion of invulnerability. You can better believe a large thunderclap is in Chaemiko's game plan. Whether or not he'll be able to execute it is the question, and there it is, opening things up with a massive thunderclap right there. Units now trying to retreat back. Cluster rockets hitting a couple of those sorceresses in the back line there, as we see another thunderclap come across there. Mountain King now trying to run back once more, down to 87 mana, has enough for another thunderclap here in just a second. Wait for the thunderclap, there it goes, and bears after bear are going to get taken down. Foggy trying to finish things off. A big cluster rockets along the backline side. 77 supply compared to 72. More thunderclaps coming in. More bears getting taken down. And this is the golf game where the slow clap is king. The Mountain King able to deal so much damage. Another thunderclap coming across, taking down multiple bears. 69 supply compared to 65, but Chaemiko still with a large enough bank to try and come back the other way. However, the goblin, the cluster rockets actually making quite a bit of a play on the opposite side here, as the Keeper of the Grove now absolutely surrounded. Staff of Preservation for the save here, as the Mountain King says, well, I can't do anything to you other Dryads. Let's see how this battle is going to go. Goblin Tinker now at level 6. Is he going to go into Robo Goblin? No. Goes into Cluster Rockets, taking down some more Priest as well, trying to remove the natural healing, as the Archmage could be in trouble. Archmage, is it going to try and use a Scroll of Town Portal? No. Robo Goblin now in play here. There's the Cluster Rockets. Archmage able to Scroll of Town Portal in time. Get away. The Cluster Rocket stun does not last very long. All right. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 6. Goblin Tinker in Robo Goblin form sitting. Well, actually, he reverted back. Oh, he wanted to revert back for the heals. So that's why he did that. He reverted back in order to be able to get rejuvenated. Otherwise, he would need to be repaired by... wisps. Not quite sure what's going on here with this particular replay. Why? I guess, yeah. What is this? I don't know what my overlay is doing. All right. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 5. Item being dropped down. Cloak of Shadows dropped there. All of the heroes pretty much maxed out on items for Foggy. Meanwhile, Chaemiko has sold some of those items. Archmage only down to plus 14 damage, trying to push back the other way. Expansion is up and running for Foggy. Full saturation is in order. Ring of Protection plus 3 now dropped, as we should be looking at, well, a counterplay here. The Tree of Life is absorbing a little bit of damage, and now trying to flank in from behind Mana Flare on those Fairy Dragons. The Priests are not going to be able to heal easily. Robo Goblin right there, and the Mountain King is unable to Stormbolt or Thunderclap the Goblin Tinker, which is now a mechanical unit. Robo Goblin becoming king here in this spot, as the Thunderclap still doing quite a bit of work onto all of those Druids of the Claw. All right, Goblin Tinker continuing that damage once more. Level 6 now on the Mountain King. We could have Avatar coming across well, from the Mountain King as another ultimate ability. Mountain King, well, Keeper of the Grove also has Tranquility, so any sort of retreating ability, and Foggy will have the advantage there. Entangle, and then finally Potion of Invulnerability coming across the other side. Mountain King down to a little bit of a dangerous position. Mountain King now needs to try to retreat back down to 300 hit points, 200 hit points, trying to retreat away. There's Tranquility, and Chaemiko gives the GG. All right, only ultimate ability we did not see in that game was Mass Teleport. Robo Goblin making an interesting play, going up against a Mountain King with Thunderclap. The slow claps of Chaemiko nearly gave him the victory there, but Foggy able to use the cluster rockets very effectively, chasing after the backline casters and the mortar teams to ensure the victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.